first open your Visual Studio and create one Windows form application, say ADOConnected connected, and design it as follows. A very simple design with some labels, text boxes and buttons, and name these controls properly. Like the name of this is TXT employee number. You can see it here in property window, TXT employee number. Always use camel case. Start from small letter and then subsequent words should start from capital letter. Then this is TXT name, TXT salary, TXT city, btn new, btn save, btn update, btn delete, btn find, btn exit, and no need to code these things. Sorry, no need to change name of these labels. Just change text property of this label, as we are not going to use this in coding. Okay, so you can see that the default names, I am using default names for these labels. No need to change it, only change text property of these labels. You can also change name of form to FRM employee info and text to employee info. Okay, so once we are done with design, now we actually want to store data from here to our database. So to do this, we need one database. So we are going to use SQL Server database here. Fortunately, Visual Studio comes with SQL Server Express Edition, so you need not to install SQL Server separately. When you install Visual Studio on your machine, SQL Server Express Edition get installed automatically, and you can use SQL Server using Server Explorer or Database Explorer provided in Visual Studio itself. So you need not to go anywhere. So click on View menu, and here you will find Server Explorer. If you are using Express Edition, then there will be some other windows. In other windows there will be Database Explorer somewhere. Okay, so find a view Server Explorer. So here, to create database, right click on data connection. You can create new SQL Server database, but if you don't have privileges, proper privileges, administrative privileges, then it may fail. So for learning purpose, we'll create SQL Server database file which will need less privileges. So say add connection, and you may see this screen where you can change data source type, and here select Microsoft SQL Server database file. Then say OK. Database file name, so here employee DB, this is the name of our database, and I am going to use Windows authentication. You can also use SQL Server authentication, specify user ID and password for this database, or you can specify that use same authentication as of Windows, then say OK. So it will give you message that this particular database doesn't exist, would you like to create it? Say yes. And our database has been created. Expand this tables. If you will expand tables, you will not find anything. To create your own table here, just right click tables, say add new table. And create schema here in designer window. Say employee number, data type of that particular column, say int. There are n number of data types over here. Then say employee name, say by default it's showing nchar 10, means 10 character long, but if name is 20 character long, then it will give error and will not able to store. So I'll prefer nvarchar 50. It's always good practice to take this nvarchar data type, because it will allow you to enter 50 characters in this column, and its variable varchar means if it is only 20 character long, then it will give space required for 20 characters only. It will book that space only. nchar 50 will book 50 characters always, will engage 50 character space always on memory, and nvarchar 50 will engage maximum 50 character, and if your string is small, say 10 or 20 character long, then it will book only that much space. Then salary, so it should be integer, and city. Again nvarchar 50. So in salary you can have many data type, but to keep things simple, I'm just using integer. Then you should not forget one thing: every table should have one primary key which will uniquely identify your records, so that duplication in that particular column will not be allowed. So to declare employee number as an primary key here, just right click this column and say set primary key. So with this we are done with design. If you don't want to allow null values in these columns, then you can remove this. If you want that user, this is optional field, if user will not enter any value for this field, then it will be okay, then you can check it. So in this example I am removing all this. Okay, save all. It will ask you table name, say employee table. Fine. Close this design, don't keep it open. You can see it in table view. Say right click it and say show table data. No record is there, so you can type, you can add record here only, but I don't want to do that. What I want, I'll enter data here, then I'll click on save button, then this data should go in this table. This what I want. Okay, so to do that, the first thing that we'll need, that our application should get connected with this database. So we'll need connection object, and then we have to execute one SQL query, insert SQL query, which will insert record in this table. So we'll need connection object and command object here. So right click on form, say view code. As I am using SQL database, what you'll do, you have to include SQL library here using system.data.sql client. You are importing SQL client namespace so that you can use classes of SQL client namespace. Then declare connection and command class in class frm employee info or form1. If you haven't renamed the form, then this will be form1, and if you have changed name of form, then it will be frm employee info. So at class level, I am declaring the references so that it will be available in all the methods. I need not to declare them again and again. But here I am not creating actual objects. These are simply references. Object will create it with using new keyword always, right? So where to create object? The best place to create connection object is constructor of your form, because we know that whenever we run the program, we'll execute that Windows form application, constructor is going to execute. Initialize component will initialize all the controls on the form, and after coming back here, it will create your connection object. Now how to create this connection object? Just I'm removing this, and I would like to create it again for you. Just remove this. So now your code is looking like this. Okay, here you have declared connection and command. Now what you will do, connection is equal to new SQL connection, and then connection string inside double quote. So I opened the double quote and closed the double quote, and I have to write connection string here. So as it is my first application, I would like to copy and paste the connection string instead of writing it manually. If you have created database using Server Explorer, you can find this connection string here. Go to properties of your database, and in property window you'll find this connection string. double click this to select it, copy and paste it. Now in this connection string, you'll find that every backspace is showing some mistake, some error, red underline. As backslash is escape sequence in C#, it has special meaning. So I want to consider every backslash as an backslash, normal backslash. Then what I can do, I can use double backslash here. So I have to change every backslash to double backslash. Instead of that, what I can do, I can just add @ here. So it will tell that compiler that the string with backslashes is not escape sequence. These backslashes are not escape sequences and treat them as an normal backslashes. Okay. Again, one thing you have to note that if you are working on Visual Studio 2008, then this attach db file name, just look at this part and you will find that this is inside double quotes. Means there will be one quote here and one quote here. So double quote inside double quote is not possible. You have to remove this explicitly. Visual Studio 2010 user need not to worry about it, but if you are working on Visual Studio 2008, just remove them. Okay. So with this we are done with connection object. We have created one connection object. Let us have a look on this connection string. Data source is equal to name of machine, as told you earlier. Here I am using dot for name of machine. Dot represents local host, local machine, and if it is some other machine, then you can replace dot with IP address of that machine or name of that machine. Then backslash SQL Express, as we are using Express edition of SQL. If you are not using Express edition, if you have professional edition, no need to write this part, only this, or name of the machine, whatever machine name is sufficient. But if you are using SQL Express edition, then you have to specify it like this. Then as we are using database file, we need to specify path of that file using attach db file name attribute. This is name of file, name and path of file. You can go to documents and see this is employee db file created for you. Then integrated security is equal to true, as we have used Windows authentication. If you have used SQL Server authentication, then here you have to specify login ID and password. Okay, so these are some basic things about connection string. Then let us do our first operation, that is save. So double click on this save button. Now what actually I want that whatever I'll enter here should get saved in database. But for better understanding, first I will write one static query, and here I am specifying values inside query itself. So I have declared one variable query, string variable, and I would like to store my query in this variable. Insert query, it will be insert query. I want to save one record, new record in database. So the syntax for insert query is like this: insert into name of table and then values, open the bracket, and then specify the values like 1. This is your employee number, then name of employee, and as it is string, so you have to enclose it in single quotes. Say Sachin then salary. Again it is numeric value, so no need to enclose it in single quotes, and then city. Complete your brackets, complete your double quote. So this is how you written your simplest query, simplest insert query, where you have enclosed your values inside query itself. Then to execute this query, you'll need command object. So cmd is equal to new command, and you have to supply query which you want to execute and the connection object on which you want to execute the query to command object. So this you can do using constructor, or you can do it using properties also. Means if you want to create command object like this, and then you can specify using properties what your command text is and what connection object you want to use. So these are various ways to work. So here I'm using this one as it is compact. Okay, then once you are done with all these things, now it's time to execute this query on database. For that you have to first open the connection. So to open the connection, there is method open connection dot open, and then say command dot execute non-query. So command object have execute non-query method to execute your queries, which doesn't return anything. Means whenever you want to make changes in database, say insert, update, delete, when you don't want data from database, then such type of queries you execute using execute non-query method of command object, and then close the connection. And now you can show one message. Record inserted. Here you should observe one thing, a very important thing. Here, when I want to execute the query, just before that statement I have opened the connection, and once I executed the query I have closed the connection. So this is a standard practice to open your connection and to close the connection, so that your connection will not be open for long time. You should not open connection here and close somewhere else. Okay, what will happen then? Connection will remain open when we are not using any database stuff. Unnecessary, it will engage the resources. Instead of that, always open your connection just before doing any database coding, and once you have done database interaction, then close the connection immediately after that. Okay, fine. So let us try to execute this. No need to put anything in text boxes, as we are going to store values. We have hard-coded that values in our query itself. Okay, just click on save button and you'll get message record inserted. Let us check database. Server Explorer, employee table, say show table data, and you'll find that one record is inserted in database. Okay, so this is in very simple format, but actually I don't want to hardcode values here. I want to save values from text boxes. So let us update this code, extend this code to save values from text boxes. Okay, so you just commented this query, and if we want to save values from text boxes, we first have to hold these values in some variable. Say employee number is equal to convert dot to int32 txt employee number dot text int 3. Then string name is equal to, no need to convert it to string because text is already in string format. Then salary, you have to convert it into integer. And then ct, again ct is what? String. Okay, fine. So now we have values from variable and values from controls in variables. So these variables we can use in query. So instead of passing these values here like this, instead of this we will use variables over here. So again let us write same query. insert into employee table values. Okay, and here I can say 1, or I don't want to say 1, or I want to pass employee number, but if I write employee number as it is here, EMP number will be considered as a string. We know that variable should always outside double quotes. So this double quote which we have started here, we have to close it here, and then to merge this part of string to variable, I am using plus operator. Okay, so employee number, and then you can see that after, so 1 will go, or 1 2 3 whatever will go from this variable. And now what I want, this part. So this again is string, so say plus double quote open, comma, single quote, and then close the double quote. Why? Because comma and single quote is normal string, you have to keep it inside double quotes, but Sachin will now come from name variable, so you have to keep it outside double quote. That's why I have closed that double quote over here, and then say plus name, then again plus, now what is here, this part, single quote and comma. So again this is string, so open the double quote, single quote and comma, and then close the double quote. So this single quote is nothing to do with this comma. Okay, this single quote is enclosing name. Now this is starting single quote of name, and this is closing single quote of name, and this comma is separating employee number and name. Okay, then again after this one, this is what, salary, which will come from salary variable. So salary, then after salary, this part of string, so plus double quote, what is it, comma and single quote. This single quote is starting quote of Nagpur or city. Okay, plus, and then city, then say plus. Now this part is remaining, the last one, that is single quote. This is quote of city, closing quote of city. Okay, and then bracket, this is closing bracket of this one, and then double quote, complete, semicolon. So this way you have built your first dynamic query, which will store values from text boxes to database. Rest of the things we already done. This command will use this query variable, connection variable, open the connection, execute your query, close the connection, and show message, record, insert it. So let us try to execute it. So put employee number 2, name say Raju, salary 15,000, city say Pune, and save it. and you'll get message record inserted. Let us check out Server Explorer, employee table, say show table data, and you'll find your record. Fine. So you're done with save command. Same way, now we want to update existing record, but if you want to update existing record, first you have to find it one. Once you will able to fetch record from database, then only you can update it. You will always update existing record. That's why before update you need to code find button. So double click on find button and then write the query. So for simplicity, for easy understanding, again I'll write static query for you, and then we will convert it into dynamic query. Okay, string query is equal to, so I want to update existing I want to find out some record, so I have to use select statement. Select star. Star stands for all columns, or you can also say select employee number comma name employee name comma salary comma city. You can specify name of columns that you want to select. If you want to select all columns, then you can use star. Select all from employee table. Which record you want to find out? Say where employee number is equal to 1. So I just want to find out a record whose employee number is 1. So again same thing, I have to create one command object, and in this command object I have to pass query and connection. Then I have to open the connection, and then execute it. Okay, sorry, excuse me. This, as we have discussed earlier, that execute non-query method will use only to execute queries which will not return values from database. Means when we don't want to fetch values from database, execute non-query. When we want to make changes in database, insert, update or delete, then we'll use execute non-query. But here we want to fetch data from database, so we have to use something different. Now, as we have discussed in our theory, that to read values we have an object, this one, data reader object, reads a forward only, read only stream of data from data source. Okay, so let us use it now. So first you have to declare reference of data reader. So it's always good practice to declare reference at class level. Then here I'll say RDR is equal to command dot execute reader. Now what actually command dot execute reader will do? You can't create reader object like new SQL data reader. Okay, you have to always use command dot execute reader at right hand side of RDR. So RDR is equal to command dot execute reader. So this execute reader method will actually create reader object for you depending on the command. Means here we want to fetch four columns: employee number, name, salary and city. So it will create object with size of 4, which will able to hold, you can visualize it like an array of 4. Okay, so in first location, in 0th location, it will fetch employee number, in first location name, second salary, and at third index it will fetch city. Okay, you can visualize it like an array. Okay, now to read actual record from there, from database, what we'll do, we have to use rdr dot read method. So rdr dot read method will always read record from current location. After reading it, it will move pointer to the next record in result set if there are multiple records in result sets. See, if here we are fetching records depending on primary number, we have we are filtering using employee number, where employee number is an primary number. So there is no chance of returning multiple records, because there will be no multiple employees with employee number 1. But if we will fetch records depending on say city, where city is equal to Nagpur, there may be 3 records in database with city is equal to Nagpur, then our result set will contain 3 records. So what rdr.read will do, it will read first record and then move pointer to second record in result set. Again we have to say rdr.read to read second record. Again we have to say rdr.read to read third record. So to read 3 records, I have to call rdr.read thrice. So we'll do it using loops and all. So we'll see in some other example how to read multiple records from record set using RDR. Okay, so by now let us consider that okay, this is only one record in result set, so rdr.read will read that record. And now I want to show that record on text boxes. So say txt employee number dot text is equal to what? rdr0. You have to convert it into string. Now what we are doing is, as we have said, I said earlier that you can consider RDR as an array, and at 0th location it will fetch employee number, first location employee name, salary, city. So here you can say txt name dot text is equal to rdr1 dot to string. As it is in object format, we have to always convert it into string. There are some type specific methods also to extract data from RDR. Like if you want to say txt salary dot text is equal to RDR true, simply saying this, instead of this what we can use, you can use type safe method like get, I know the data type is integer of salary, so you can say get int 32, and then you can have provide index, and then you can convert it into string. So this is also perfectly okay. Here you can say that txt city dot text is equal to, you can say RDR3 simply, or you can say RDR dot to string or RDR dot get string 3. Now again no need to convert it into string, as we already fetched it as an string from data reader object. So once you are done with this, then you should close RDR and you should close connection. Okay, now let us execute it. Click on find button, yes, and it's fetching record from database, but it will always fetch record number 1, as here we have hard-coded employee number. So I don't want to do that. I want it should use employee number from text box. So here I am declaring, say convert dot to in 32 txt employee number dot text, and this emp number variable I'll use over here plus emp number, as it is numeric value, no need to enclose it in single quote, otherwise you have to put one single quote here and one single quote here. Okay, what if you want to fetch it using city, if this is where city is equal to, then you have to enclose it in single quote like this, and then double quote, because single quote is on string, so you have to put it in inside double quote, so this way. But now as emp number is an numeric value, just no need to do all this stuff. Okay, fine. Okay, done. Now what we are doing, we have to specify record number in text box, and then it will get in this variable, and that number we are using to fetch data from our database. So 2, and then say find, and you will get second record. So now you are done with find button. Now you can make changes in existing record. Means if you want to fetch this record, okay, now you want to change salary of Raju 16,000 now, then you will click on update. You will not click on save, because this record already exists. You don't want to create new record in database, and if you will click on save, then it will give you error, that primary key violation error, because you are trying to save to as an employee number a new record which already exists, and primary key column will not allow you to save same data in it. Okay, so you want to change existing record, so you want to update it. Let us write query for it. So string query is equal to again I am writing one static query, update table name, employee table, set employee number is equal to okay. I'll not change primary key in update query. It's good practice, because employee number is not going to change. Its salary may change, employee's city may change, designation may change, but employee number will remain same always. So don't change primary key. Here you will require to do it very rarely. In this example I am not doing that. Update employee table, set emp name. This is column name. This should match with the name that you have used over here. Okay, emp name, right, is equal to say Sonu. Salary is equal to 20,000, comma, city is equal to, again inside single quotes, Mumbai. Now always remember that your update query should always have where clause. If I will not use where clause, what will happen? It will make these changes in all the records. If you have 100 records in your database, all employees will be Sonu with salary 20,000 and with city Mumbai. Okay, so you don't want it, right? So where employee number is equal to 2. So this is static query. Then first we'll test it. If it will work properly, then we'll convert it into dynamic. Then say command is equal to new SQL command query connection. Okay, you can also do it like this: command dot command text is equal to query command dot connection is equal to connection. So these are properties. Either you can pass it to constructor or you can use properties later. Then connection dot open command dot, again I want to make changes in database, so I am not fetching any record, any value from database, so execute non-query will work for me, and then close the connection. You can show a message, record updated. Fine. Let us try it. No need to specify values in it. Just click on update button and you'll get message record updated. Let us see show table data, and record number 2 converted to Sonu with salary. Okay, fine. Now I want to use text box values. So this same code will work for me. Copy this. Okay, I am taking values from controls in variables to use in my query. Okay, now build the query. String query is equal to update employee table set employee name is equal to single quote. Now actual value Sonu right here. So now I don't want to hard code this. I want this name should come from text box, right? So I want to use name variable, so I have to first close the double quote, then to merge it use plus operator name, then again this is what a normal string that you have to put in double quotes. So plus double quote, open the double quote, then this one from there single quote, closing single quote of name, comma, space, salary, this is column name, equal to double quote complete. Now there is no single quote here because salary column is numeric column, plus, and this 20,000 will actually come here from salary variable, salary, plus double quote, then this part, so comma city is equal to single quote, this is normal string, and this single quote is required here because city is string column. Okay, this is single quote, starting single quote of city, this one. So city is in city variable, then plus, now this part is what, again string, that is closing single quote of city where clause, column name equal to closing single quote of city, now no comma, okay, where employee number is equal to, again this number will come from variables, this one, so close it, say plus employee number, that's it. And now I'll run this. You have to first find out existing record, right, and then you can make changes in existing record, not necessarily all columns, in all text boxes. You can change anyone, and when you will update, click on update, it will take values from text boxes again and will store Sonu 25,000 and Mumbai in record number 2. So obviously the values which you haven't changed will get stored again as it is, so no change will be there, but which you have changed, the changed value will get stored in database. So click on update button, record updated. Let us check out. Say show table data, and that's it. Fine. Now we are left with delete and new. So what delete will do, will obviously delete record from database. So first we'll find the record and then we'll click on delete to remove it, and new will clear these text boxes. So in new and delete will share some functionality. On new button I want to clear all these text boxes. In delete button I will delete record from database, and also I will clear these text boxes. So the logic of clearing text boxes, I will keep it in one function which I will call from both buttons, new and delete. So in code, let us say new button is there. So what new button will do, we'll simply call this function that private void say clear text boxes. This is a function which is responsible to clear all the text boxes. Fine. Call this function and you can also say this txt employee number dot focus, so that if you want to insert third record, say Manju, salary and city, save it, record inserted. Now I'll click on new. It will clear the text boxes and your focus will come in employee number, right? So that you can easily insert next record, say Tiku. Okay, now what you want to delete the record, delete existing record. So the record which is current record in text boxes, displaying in text box, that you want to delete. So you will current employee number, in variable which you want to use right where clause. Then your query will be like that: delete from employee table where employee number is equal to EMP number. That's it. And then you'll build command object and open the connection, execute the query and close the connection. Flash the message, record deleted. Okay, let us try it out. Put the employee number here, find it, and okay, this is a record which you want to delete. Click on delete, record deleted. But still you will see this record on text boxes. So what you have to do, you have to call clear text boxes method here. Fine, let us check out. Okay, and there is no record 2 in your database. Try it again. Say 4 find. Okay, you don't want this record anymore. Click on delete, record deleted. Okay, fine. This is how we are almost done with all the buttons. Simply exit button is simply like application dot exit. Okay, so we are done with all the operations: insert, update, delete and find.